It's time for the Comic Bin Comic Book Podcast. The podcast you look forward to for all of your news and reviews of the best comic books hitting stands. Whether it's DC,
Batman, Wonder Woman,
Marvel,
Spider-Man,
Image,
Spawn, Saga,
Boom,
Once and Future, Power Rangers,
or whatever book or publisher you follow,
we cover them all here.
this is the place for you.
That's right, it's for everyone.
This is the Comic Bin Comic Book Podcast.
Let's get it.
Hey folks, welcome to the episode Comic Bin Comic Book Podcast. I am your host Theo. This is my day one recap. San Diego Comic-Con 2025. I know I did not go to preview night on Wednesday because my flight got in late and I was pooped and it was just time to sleep and ended up crashing all over the place in my room before I finally decided to get under the covers. But here is my day one recap for Thursday over at the San Diego Convention Center. Day started out pretty late. My first panel wasn't until about 11 that I really wanted to jump into, so I went ahead and tackled that. Went on over and had a panel, went to the panel with Robert Kirkman, and as you saw with some of the postings that I put out on our socials, he announced a few things that are going to be happening not only within the Invincible universe on TV with Season 5 now being approved and announced over at Amazon Prime Video, but also some additions with the game that will be coming out soon with Invincible, and some additions to that, including Battle Beast, but yeah, it was a pretty neat. I'm gonna have a summary of that panel up on the website, working on the story with that. Gotta throw some images in there that was provided to me by Skybound, so thanks again to those folks over there for that. But that'll be up on the website hopefully sometime on Saturday. I'm looking to get that posted, so be on the lookout for that. There was a few panels that I wanted to get into that I could not, simply because it was packed. That's particularly was the one that was celebrating the 40th anniversary of Robotech. So I remember when that cartoon first aired on a Monday afternoon in the States back in '85, and it's had its long history in the United States as Robotech, which of course doesn't count for its history going all the way back to its origins in Japanese anime. But I was surprisingly surprised that it was not only crowded, but it was probably double crowded. There was a line even after the panel had started that were folks that were just hoping that some single seats may have popped up, or some folks may have walked out, but that didn't happen. So decided to go ahead and just take leave from that. But I also sat in on the panel for Batman Azteca, which is the Aztec version of the Caped Crusader. That animated movie is coming out this year from Warner Brothers Animation. So that panel it was primarily the producing team. So they had a few of the producers. They had the composer of the soundtrack for the movie, or for the score for the movie. They had a director, but they did have a few actors. I did not know that Raymond Cruz was cast as one of the voice actors for this film, and it's going to be really interesting when this comes out. So it'll be released not only in English but also in Spanish, and coincidentally the original movie from Warner Brothers was done in Spanish and then dubbed over into English. So it was interesting to hear how all of that played out. But it's going to be interesting. And again, I was a little surprised to see Raymond Cruz up there on stage. I am used to seeing him in these action type roles, but his role as the Aztec version of the Joker is going to really blow your mind when it's released. And they showed clips from the upcoming film, and man, when you see how they were able to integrate Aztec history and the history of that time into the lore of Batman and the Rogues Gallery, particularly the Joker, and with Harvey Dent, it's going to be you're going to be really shocked to see how they were able to stay the course with the history of the character, of all the characters, including Batman, but not steer away from the history of the Aztecan people. So that is going to be that is I am definitely on board with watching this come later on this year when it's released. And again, that trailer, just wow. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for what it brings with a different look at Batman. One of the things that was pointed out is that this is going to be the first animated film with Batman who is not Bruce Wayne. And so I had to really think about that, considering Batman Ninja, but that too was Bruce Wayne as Batman. So this is going to be a really interesting take on the character. And again, I posted some photos from the panel up on our socials, so please take a look at that, particularly our socials on X. But yeah, I haven't been as excited about Batman and the Batman film in quite a while. And that says a lot, considering the love that I had for DC animation, especially early in its time. Things kind of trailed off at the end, but I'm excited for this once it comes out later this year. But it was a really interesting day, long day. The weather, however, was absolutely beautiful. You see me wearing a jacket now. That's because it's probably in the upper 50s, lower 60s here in San Diego. The temperature during the day did not, I don't think it reached 75 degrees. If it did, that's the most it was. And so the weather was just absolutely stunning. Sun everywhere, had a nice breeze. Just wow. If you're in the San Diego area, you don't need a badge to go to some of the outside events for San Diego Comic-Con. There is a huge event, the interactive event that's going on over by Petco Park. That is only $10 to get in. You don't need a badge for that. There's also the access to the Bay Area to get out there on San Diego Bay. It was just a wonderful day. I am looking forward to what's lined up for the rest of the weekend. So let's chat a little bit about what's on tap tomorrow. Tomorrow being Friday. Ton of panels that I am looking at attending, but I also have quite a few interviews lined up. So I'll be meeting with Robert Kirkman and David Finch to talk about their new series that's coming out over at Skybound Image, which is Skinbreaker. I already had the opportunity to read that, and man, it is not a story that is for someone looking for a happy ending in a way that you might think of one, but I am going to definitely pick their brains on how everything came together with all that we know about Skinbreaker in that series. I'll also be heading on over to the Mad Cave Studios booth, and I'll be sitting with the creators of the Speed Racer universe. So we do know that Speed Racer #1 is out next week, the first issue from David Pepos, but we also know that there's going to be the miniseries with Racer X that Mark Russell is going to be writing. And then it was also recently announced in the past week or so about Tales from the Road, which is going to be their quarterly anthology. I would assume that's how it's going to be. And the first issue of this anthology series of Speed Racer is going to be written by Mark London, who of course is the CEO and Chief Creative Officer over there at Mad Cave. So I am going to sit with them and pick their brains about everything that's come together with this universe and this partnership that Mad Cave has really taken off with the folks over there at Tatsunoko Productions. Of course, you know, they not only have been doing Speed Racer, but also everything with the Gotcha Man universe. We know that Infinity Force is doing its thing on the Nakama side with that manga series coming back, or at least being reprinted and having those unpublished volumes released here in the States. But there are a bunch of other projects that they've also been doing with Tatsunoko. So it's a really good partnership. So I'm going to try to pick Mark London's brain for that as well before we really dive into all things Speed Racer. But I may have a few more interviews. I'm waiting to confirm those with a few creators that I spoke with on the floor while walking around today. But yeah, it's going to be a really long weekend, and so be on the lookout for those. I plan on releasing each of those interviews individually and then doing an episode where they'll all be combined for those who may just want to see all of them at one time. But that's my day for Friday, and so that's going to do it for this episode. I need to get some sleep so I can get up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and head on out to do it all over again, and heading on over to the San Diego Convention Center and getting things rocking and rolling, and I'm going to look over my schedule one final time to make sure that everything is all set for the panels that I want to sit in on. I have to make sure that I am there on time so I can at least get a seat. But again, until those episodes drop, make sure you are again following us on all of our socials, not only at the Comic Book Spot, but also at the Batman Universe for all of those things as well. The Batman panel, I believe, if I can remember without looking at my phone, I believe it's on this Saturday. So definitely be following us at the Batman Universe to pick up on those things as stories and announcements are made by DC. I'm not sure if there will be anything new that has been announced already, you know, with regards to DCKO and some of the other series that have been announced. I know that today they have already announced the first slate of the tournament for DCKO, so take a look at that. And I'm not sure, I haven't really given thought to, you know, the first layout, the first round, if you want to call it that, of characters of heroes and all that are going to be involved in DCKO, but we shall see. But again, that is going to do it. I am going to roll on out, and when I say roll on out, I'm going to roll in this chair over to the bed and crash. And so I will see you guys next time for my day 2 recap of San Diego Comic-Con. So until then, keep reading those comics. That is going to do it for this episode of the Comic Bin Comic Book Podcast. I'd like to thank you all for your continued support of the program. The Comic Bin Podcast, as well as the Comic Book Spot, are a part of the Comic Book Source family of sites and media. You can follow the podcast on Twitter X at comic_bin, or my personal account at BatmanFan_4life. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Threads. We're all over social media. You can also follow our sister site over at thebatmanuniverse.net for all of your news and reviews in the world of Batman. Tune in next time as we give you more in the world of comic books. Again, we truly appreciate your support. But until we meet again next time, keep reading those comics.